This mini split in my porch works great, but the barn is a totally different beast. Multiple rooms, high ceilings, dead spaces everywhere. So I'm installing a 3-ton ducted mini split with spiral ductwork for that pro and industrial look. It's gonna change everything in this space. Wait till you see. And it's all next on HomePro Hero. So here's what we're working with. My DIY pole barn is a 28 by 32 building. 3 different ceiling heights at 20 foot, 12 foot, and 7 foot. On top of that, I have lofts on both ends. That means I'm gonna have a lot of different areas with a lot of different temperatures. So I already insulated the barn with foam and R19 for a good R value. I'm planning to add to the barn in the future, so I went with a 3-ton unit from Tuesube. Going with a bigger system than what I really need right now. The good news is the system I'm going with is variable speed, so I can adjust it for the size of my building today. So this is the indoor unit. It's about 2 foot wide, a little bit longer than 4 foot. It's gonna go up there in the loft above my garage door, which in my opinion is dead space. And honestly, although mini splits are pretty efficient and functional, they're kind of ugly. This setup will be completely hidden. And on top of that, the way it's gonna line up, my spiral ductwork will actually travel down the center of my barn, right below my windows. That should give me a good, efficient airflow. Now here's the thing, you don't have to do spiral ductwork. You can simply put the unit behind the wall, put a vent on it, and it'll work perfectly fine. But I'm gonna do it the hard way because I really want that pro and industrial look in this barn. And to make the spiral ductwork happen, I had to reach out to the pros to get this fabricated so it connects seamlessly into the mini split indoor unit. This is the Tuesube outdoor unit, and it's gonna go out here right around the corner. I'm actually adding on to the barn right here, so this would be the corner it'll sit. It's protected by the weather, not visible from the house or the street. If you stick around the end, I'll tell you exactly how much all this cost and how long it took. It's gonna look great. Let's get to work. Before we actually lift this up into the loft, I'm gonna do a couple things on the ground. It'll make things a little easier once we get up there. And we're gonna start with the electrical line and the thermostat line. Pretty simple, the white blue goes on one. Black is in the middle. Finally, the brown red goes on number 3. And finally, the ground. It always goes to the green screw, which is over here. And then the thermostat wire is gray. It simply plugs in to the only white connection in the electrical box. Other than that, pretty much it. We're good to go. Both wires in. Okay, let's go ahead and put this thing up on the edge so we can actually put the fabricated piece on the front of this thing. And then all these are their 1/4-inch hex head. So you're wondering how I'm gonna get this up in the loft? No one around to help? I got a secret weapon. All right. Got it. Holy smokes. Woo! Okay, now that I got that monster up there, I got a mark for the return air, which is on the bottom of the unit, like we talked about. So that's roughly 9 by 48. So, and you notice one thing with the fabrication piece is it's swooped. That way you get the most power from the unit. You just don't want to come off and do 90s or anything like that. Everything wants to be a swoop or a 45. It's in the right spot. You can see how it lines up perfectly with the edge. Before we do anything else with the electrical, we're gonna go ahead and run the copper lines from downstairs up to here. Okay, let's get my favorite drill set out, the Spider. It's awesome. I need to be about 20 inches over. And this is just kind of where I want it on the outside of the building. And this is the reason why I want to be 7 inches up, because I got to hit these 2 things right here. We'll bring the pipe outside the building. We need to have about 12 inches of clearance, and it looks like about 5 more inches to get to the pipe. Let's go to the outside, get from the outside. Boom. And then we got to drill the additional holes through the 2x6. These are non-supporting, so it's not a big deal. We're gonna put the same size hole through each one, just in a diagonal upward. So I'm just kind of ballparking it here. So let's get the pipe. I think it's 5/8 and a 1/4 inch. I am gonna tear them apart because they came kind of attached, and this is a 25 footer. You can get 16, 25, you can even get a 50. They're separated. Now let's go ahead and install. Let's start with the big one first. They got caps on the ends, so you don't have to worry about it getting contaminated. The bigger the pipe, harder it is. I gotta keep going back and forth, but it kind of sucks. All right, we got her down there. Before we go too far though, these work phenomenal. They're like insert tubes. No way you can actually crimp them because this plastic goes inside of them. I got these on Amazon. I'll put a link in the description. If you have fears of kinking a copper line, use these. I got enough room to go back. Look, see guys? We'll leave that in there for now. No bends, no kinks. Now the 1/4 inch line, which is the smaller of the two, heck of a lot easier to bend. We gotta be careful though, because it's almost too easy to bend. If you're worried about kinking the lines like I was in that first one, and I actually kinked them, paid the price for it. The price I paid will help you not pay it.
These go inside, and these won't allow you to kink the lines.
I've already tested them on my set that I screwed up. Don't use those pipe benders, they don't work. And about 20, perfectly fine. We'll be able to push them in if we need to. I'd rather be farther than not far enough. We're good. We need to be at least 12 inches off the wall, 12 inches side to side. Okay, now let's go ahead and get the electrical wire from up top. We'll run it alongside of the 2 copper lines. We'll zip tie it all together, and that part will be done. Oh, crap. Whoops. How about that hole? Yeah, well, easy fix. 3/4 inch drainage pipe. So the Tuesube has gravity feds, and then it has a pump on one end. We're gonna use the gravity. We don't want any mechanical failures. We'll just use cement glue and cement it all in place. We'll use silicone where the pipe actually meets into the inside unit. Should have like a 1 or 2% degree fall easily from that position. Okay, there it is up there. We'll make it tight and neat, fill it up with foam and paint it and be done with it. Now let's take these out real quick because we're gonna need these on the other end before we tie it into the unit. So we're just gonna play it safe here and put the tubes inside this end for the fact we have to coil these up because we got so much length. Not a problem, it'll all be hidden in the attic. But I want to make sure I don't kink them here last second. Have to start over again. We got them right in the zip codes here, so I'll go here, I go here. All right, it's hot up here. Yes, sir. Okay, we're gonna use this Nylog blue. It's supposed to help with the seal. We'll start with the little guy first. Just put a little bit right on the nipple. Now we're gonna sit the nipple on there first like that, and then we're gonna take it and twist it on there. Making sure that stays nice and tight. I got this torque wrench on Amazon. I'll put a link in the description. #1 tool to have when tightening these up. It's fairly cheap and inexpensive. It'll get the job done right. 13, right there. It's tight. That one's in. Let's do that big one now. This looks like it's gonna be 45 to 47 right there. So a lot more. Should be good. All right. Okay, we just got to wrap up the rest of this real quick. Make sure that gets wrapped up. If not, it'll sweat, leak water everywhere. So we'll make sure it's nice and tight there. Thermostat wire drop down below. Everything's tied in nice and tight. That wraps up the inside unit. Let's head outside. Got these treated 2x4s as a platform. They'll be fine. I'm not gonna spend 80 bucks on a plastic one from Amazon. It ain't the prettiest thing in the world, but no one cares. Just wanna get elevated a little bit. Let's make the copper line connections now, just like we did inside. Best tool money can buy right there. Links in the description. Okay, this is the part that everybody freaks out about, right? It's not that hard. Screw the blue one into the bottom of the blue valve. Pretty simple. Make sure these things are tight. You're gonna hook the blue one up to the unit, which the only place you can hook it is on the bottom one usually, and it's the opposite of the big line. We're just gonna turn it on for about a half hour. Right off the bat, we'll open it up. So now we're sucking, right? You can see it's way down here at the 30, negative 30 right now. Once it sucks it, and gets all the contaminants and gets a vacuum, we're gonna turn this valve off. Then everything's locked in here, but we're gonna continue to monitor the gauge to make sure nothing's leaking or there's not a leak in the line. While that's pumping, we're gonna go ahead and install the electrical disconnect box. We're gonna hang it about 36 inches off the ground, which is code. We're gonna use our Hookup little mini level. It's got magnets, so it kind of sticks right to the side of it. It's kind of nice. It's one of my favorite little levels. Links in the description. Right there's perfect. It's not going anywhere. All right, good. Let's go run that wire. 10-2 gauge wire from the breaker panel out to the disconnect box. Let's turn the pump off, turn off the blue. That means the line from here to here is shut off. The gauge is still watching this line, which is connected to the mini split. So what we want to do is make sure that stays right under the negative 30 for at least a half hour or so. Everything's got to be code compliant, properly protected. The wire's heavy, the connections are tight, every joint gets inspected before we power up anything. From the disconnect box, we're running a whip to the compressor. This is your safety kill switch. Flip it, the whole system shuts down instantly. It's a legal requirement and a smart move. You never work on a live unit, you never want to be stuck if something goes wrong. The indoor unit talks to the outdoor unit through this wire. This tells the compressor when to run, when to stop, how hard it pushes. Get this wrong and nothing's gonna communicate, nothing's gonna work. It's gotta be right. Follow the instructions in the manual. You'll have no issues hooking up the electrical connections. Let's put the cover on. Let's hook the breaker up real quick. I've already taken off the wrap here. I know a lot of guys wired up with the power on. I'm not that type of guy. Okay, it's real simple. Our orange wire's coming in through the top, got our ground. We're gonna tie it to our ground panel. And then these whites and these blacks, we'll tie in the back side of these breakers. And then all we're gonna do is put them in here, just like this. Boom, put the cover on. It's off right now. Look, we're good to go. It hasn't budged in about two and a half hours, so we're tight. We're gonna disconnect, but first we're gonna let the Freon go, or the refrigerant. Keep in mind, this is in the big unit here. It's sitting inside of it. We're gonna release it right now. So now we're gonna reveal these two caps right here. We're gonna take them off. There's little hex head nuts in there. We're gonna release just a little bit, and then we're gonna disconnect. Okay, now we're gonna release the rest by just twisting the top. It's a 5mm hex head, I think. That one's totally open, and now this bottom one. Put the caps back on all three of them and torque them down, and the system's charged. It's that simple. The reason why we left that blue cable in a little longer, so that way it would spit out just a tad bit of Freon and get the rest of the debris out. Okay, next day, I've had the AC running all night long. No problems at all. Everything's working great. We're gonna start with the ductwork, and we're gonna start with the cutting the holes for the vents. And we're using this Hookup laser right here to get the job done, making sure that the vents are nice and straight from start to finish. Brand new laser. Been waiting for this one. I'll put a link in the description. Okay, I've got the Hookup laser on the ground. It's level, my floor's level, so that means my line's level too, which is a good thing. We're just gonna mark a line, don't have to worry about the laser right now, at 4 foot and 8 foot. What we're gonna do is we're gonna rotate it down until the laser is lined up perfectly with it, like it is right there. Okay, and all we're gonna do is use this template that I created. There's our first vent. So those two lines we made down there, make sure our laser's on them, about right there. Same thing here. Line it up, template up perfectly. We're gonna use a drill and a jigsaw to make that all happen. Well, that was a lot easier than I thought it was gonna be. Super easy. Got a metal cutting blade, I think it's 24 teeth. I think it's 18 to 24. It's gonna be easy, guys. Super easy. Super easy. I was gonna use a grinder. Thank God I didn't. I'd have fire in this place. Let's hope it fits, guys. Make it kind of snug. Oh yeah, perfect. All right, well I think we can go ahead and just put the screws on it. Got the vents on Amazon. Adjustable too. Okay, I've got two of these 45s and I got two of the collars. So one collar goes from each 45, and then this collar will go into the spiral. And then we'll deal with the smaller spiral here in a minute. Okay, one of the hardest things that's done on the project is 45. I'm just gonna jog around the upper support up there to catch the main pipe. Okay, then we got this cone. This takes it from the big spiral to the little spiral. Should fit inside here. I put them together. There was two pieces there. They're such a pain. Let me know in the comments if there's a trick to that, but man, this stuff's been difficult to work with. Okay, that went on pretty simple. Not gonna go too nuts in case I have to make some adjustments, but it looks pretty straight on there actually. I do like the look of this stuff. Pretty cool looking. We'll put 4 screws in because it's not gonna go anywhere with 4. All right. Huh, look at that, easiest one. Okay, here we go. Oh, that feels so good up here. It's blowing some cold air. Oh, I got it. Got lucky. That's what it was. Got it. Feels tight too. There we go. There we go. Now we're in. I need to have a line on the ceiling rafters that's 14.5 inches away from the wall. I've got my Hookup laser set up at 14.5 right now. Problem is, it's probably likely not 14.5 down here. So I'm going to use the remote control to move that mark to 14.5, but it keeps this mark at 14.5. That will make my line completely straight from the front of the barn to the back of the barn. Up a tad bit more. But 14.5. Now let's go down and check the other end and see if it's 14.5. If everything worked right, it should still be 14.5. 14.5. That's incredible. So what I'm doing is I'm taking a fisheye up there, drilling a hole, using the laser. I'm running the wire through the eye. That'll be tight up top like that. And at the bottom, what I'm doing is I'm using these little things. You put them in each end, and then they're adjustable, and they have friction so they don't slide. You go through one side, and then you loop it like this. And then the pipe sits in that, and you can adjust this up and down for height. It works really well. I use ChatGPT to get my air calculations. It told me exactly how much flow my mini split would get, what size pipe I need, what size vents I need, and where to put them at. Hey, everything works like a champ. It's got tons of blowing power. The temperatures, the unit itself, 54 degrees, and I'm pushing under 60 degrees from the first vent to the last vent. That's performance. And the barn feels phenomenal. The big question is, how much did this all cost? I'm all in for just under $4,200. Thanks to my Tuesube HomePro Hero discount of 10%, I saved $300. Links in the description below. Just over 12 hours to get it installed from start to finish. Everything you saw here, the vacuum tests, the copper lines, the electrical, that's the same on any mini split. I hope you liked the video. If you did, make sure you give it a thumbs up. Make sure you're subscribed. If not, take care, and I'll see you next time. As you likely already know, I did a standard mini split install a few months back. Check it out if you want to see how this compares to that.